nothing started.
Year two for you, and obviously most of the staff taking on a bigger role as a defensive coach. And how do you just feel about the group going into this year?
I'm excited. I've got a lot of history with a lot of these guys because we've been here together, even though I'm in a different role. So that's exciting. I appreciate them being here and being able to see them off into their final seasons is exciting to me. It's super rewarding because you get into this, it's all about relationships, and the journey's the magical part. So being able to finish the journey with some special people in Stukes and Dalton, and we'll see what happens with Genesis. Is super exciting and comforting because we've been together. Those guys played a lot of football. They're really good players, and so I'm excited.
Having Stoops and Genesis isn't even as Dalton's fifth year and sixth year. Having guys like that, there's not many like that anymore that are around that long. How much does that help you? Does it feel like it's like a coach out there on the field with you? How much does it help you?
For sure, it's huge because I can, if something's wrong and I'm busy, I have to coach, somebody else. I can just say, hey, Stoops, go talk to him about this. And most of the time could because they're paying attention on the sideline. They're big brothers, coaching up there. They just know the coaching points. They know what I'm looking for. It's like having another coach on the field with those two guys, which is awesome. It's amazing.
Does not Genesis, Tradon, sorry, have a nickname Uncle? Is that a thing?
Because he's the old man of the group, yeah, for sure.
So do you think he's embraced that Uncle nickname? For sure.
He's the old head. He moves a little bit slower. He doesn't have that pep in his step like he used to. But when he gets between these lines, he definitely does. But out there, he's slow motion, even keel. So yeah, he's definitely the uncle of the group.
At the ripe age of 23.
Yeah, no doubt, right? Just wait. That's what I tell him. Just wait.
How do you know how he got? Is it just because he's old? I mean, who gave it?
I don't know who gave it to him. Okay. It just kind of happened, and I saw at the Big 12 media days all this stuff, and I started laughing. I was like, if anybody's uncle, it's definitely him. So I could see it.
How is he doing health wise? I know Danny kind of said he's a week and a half or so. He'll maybe be back into things.
Yeah, he's pretty much doing everything, and then we're just kind of being cautious with all the team stuff and running into people, but he'll be right there, like he said, a week and a half. He's doing great. A guy like that who's had so many reps and done it for so long, it's comforting that even though he might be a little bit behind in camp, he's not going to be behind.
Is he itching?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's itching. I just saw him walking over here, and he's like, I said, man, it's gonna be good to see Stukes back on the lines and in between those lines. And he was like, man, I can't wait. I'm waiting for it. So, the hardest part about those injuries is not even the physical toll; it's the emotional toll of how bad they want to be out there, how long it takes, the timeline, because everything nowadays it's so sped up. I just want to be out there. So I know, for his headspace and emotionally, this is going to be really huge, and I'm really happy for him.
There were so many injuries last year.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of debate about it. It was just freak. What do you notice? A change in the strength and conditioning, like programming, or what they do, or do you think those were just kind of freak things? Like, is there anything you guys are doing to maybe be more proactive about injury prevention?
I know the strength staff took a deep dive into those things, why they happened, what they can do to prevent them. Whether that be different running exercises, different progressions, different stretches. I know they spent a ton of time on that. I saw some different stuff this summer and this off season, what they're doing, and some of those things are kind of freak deals too. Like, on the sideline, who was it? A gunner who got rolled up on. You can't train for that. That just stuff like that happens, unfortunately. So some of those things are freakish, and I think with the ones that maybe weren't, if people think that way, I think our guys did a great job of turning over every stone to see what they can do to help prevent it.
So how would you describe your coaching philosophy when it comes to developing safety? About safety?
Coaching philosophy is, I was talking with Mike earlier about this. I think it's like any relationship, player coach is just like the relationship I have with my wife or my son. It's all about communication, open lines of communication, being truthful, being honest, not holding anything back, because if all the cards are on the table, they know you care about them. you have their best interests, not only as a player, but as a person. I think that's what it's all about, the relationship and keeping that open. And, hey, these are the things I need you to work on. This is where you can improve. This is where you're really good at. These are the steps that we can maybe address those. And now let's circle back in a week or two and see where we're at, if we need to keep working on it or pivot. And I think having those open lines and open doors with the players is the only way to do it. And I've been fortunate to be with some great mentors that have kind of helped me along that way. One of them being obviously Coach Keenan here.
How different is this defense going to look under Daniels?
Very, very different. There's going to be there's some schematic changes. Guys will be coming from every which way. We're putting guys in different positions than maybe they have been before, and I think that's exciting for them. Some new exciting ideas, and I think it'll be problematic for teams as they try and scout us and try and figure out what we're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, so you mentioned about communication before, right? So how important is communication between your safety and the rest of the secondary staff?
Huge. It's we all got to be on the same page to move in one direction, because if one person thinks we should be playing this and the other person's playing this, that's how you have problems and give up big plays defensively. So that's where we're super fortunate in our defensive back room. These guys have played a lot of football together and are comfortable with one another and have had those communication, I guess drills. They've talked so long, they're used to it, so that's helpful.
And what's your biggest goal do you have in the mind when the season gonna start? Where's your goal? Your main focus goal?
Main focus is every day, how can I help these guys get better? It's just getting better each day, stacking days. You can't ask the players to have a mindset of just one day at a time if you're not. And that's really all I focus on, is one day at a time. How do we get better? What do we need to work on? How can I improve? How can I help my players improve? How can I teach differently? All those things on a day-to-day basis. And I think those compound and great things happen when you think like that.
And then last question, who is the youngest player who step up like earlier in the camp? Who make noise?
We'll find out soon, because some of these guys, they got here in June, some got here mid-year, but they haven't really had a ton of football practice. So I can't wait to get on the field. It's like Christmas for me. This is like Christmas Eve. Christmas is tomorrow. We get to go practice. I'm so excited. And then who emerges out of that young group? Who's got the energy? Who's retained some of the info that we've went over, and talked about? And, I'm excited to see which one of those guys step up.
Perfect. Thank you.